Hey, welcome back to Inside the Vandals. I'm your host, Tom Purvis. So glad you can be back with us. Well, for Vandals senior Christina Salvatore, she is a dominant player on the court. Now it's time to take a look at what she's like behind the scenes with Alyssa Charlston.
Hey, let's go.
Let's go. When it comes down to business, I'm not going to joke around, but at the same time, as soon as we have a break, I'm the first one making the joke.
Christina Salvatore here with Points in the Paint. We're here at the Cowan Spectrum. And the point, start over. Their assistant coach just had a baby. It's a girl. You should go with it.
Christina's a complete clown. She's always messing with everyone. So when freshmen come in, we just go like, don't believe anything that comes out of her mouth because it's a lie. And I'm a junior now and I should know better, but I still believe her.
Sociology with a criminal emphasis, and then a minor in communications. And it's basically a criminal justice major. We just have a different name for it here. It's kind of funny that I'm in the major that is so, serious and sad at times. It's not gonna be fun doing some of the stuff I want to do or that comes with the job. It's really interesting to me, they'll pull up modern day examples of theories, a lot of criminal theories, different ways of explaining why people do the things they do. I want to help people, so part of the reason why I want to go into the field I want to go into is just because if I can, help someone get kids out of situations that they shouldn't be in, get people off the street that they're behaving in a negative way or hurting people, and in the end I'm helping people, I'm good with it.
I think if you want to major in something like really serious, you gotta have like a sense of humor like she does, because if not, you're gonna go crazy. I think it's perfect for her.
A lot of times you're just drained from the day. I try to, take it upon myself to, when we get in the locker room and I see that people are tired, to mess around or make a joke, or I want to make it fun, because when it's fun, you want to be there. And when you want to be there, you play better, and team chemistry, team environment, just everything's just better when everyone's having fun and laughing.
Christina is the queen of pranks. She started it off and it's a non-stop now. Like, we constantly prank each other.
We put Carly in a ball bag and brought her up to Coach Bruss's office and scared her. We brought her out to practice in a bag. I think Brooke did. Brooke hid in a towel cart, scared Bras, walking into the locker room. We boarded up Agata's locker and said she was evicted. We taped it shut. There was like a good 2 weeks of Agata's locker being pranked with. And then we put like underwater cups just around her locker so that when she came to change, she couldn't get to her locker. She had to like reach over and try not to knock all the way. And then she grabbed one and took a drink.
I automatically knew that it was her. Like, there's no one else could have been. It was her.
I'd also like to star in Criminal Minds, or Law and Order SVU, whatever comes first. But I've sent in a couple, of my audition tapes, so hopefully we can send this one in and get going. But yeah, FBI agent, actress, whatever comes first.
Hey, we're back here on Inside the Vandals. Tom Purvis here with you, joined by Idaho women's head basketball coach Jon Newlee. Coach, thanks for being here.
Good to be here.
Well, you see the piece on Christina Salvatore right there. Nice piece. A senior might be an easy question to answer or too much to answer, but what does she bring to this team?
Well, she brings everything, really. She brings great leadership on and off the floor. But then physically out on the floor, she's our best passer, really our best rebounder. She can shoot the three, she can score inside and out. Just her presence being out there, she's a real steadying influence for everybody when she's out on the floor. From just her junior and sophomore year, to now, how have you seen her just mature as an overall player, a leader? How have you seen her mature? Well, when she got here, she was just a three-point shooter, really a catch and shoot, a three-point shooter. That was her role, which she did a great job at for sure. But as the years have gone by, she's really matured out on the floor. She used to let her bad games really affect everything else that she did. If she wasn't shooting the basketball well, then you could tell everything else was going bad for her. But now she's able to shrug off some bad shooting games and still contribute and still play great defense now, which is something I never thought I'd say about Christina coming here as a freshman. But now she's a great defender for us, distributor, and gets everybody involved. She's just a great all-around player. Obviously, she's serious when she needs to be, but she also has that goofy side too. How does that help a team when you have a senior leader like her who can joke around? Well, it's good because there's a lot of times during the season when everybody's tired and they're hitting the wall, and and it's a mental grind, and she just brings that levity. She really brings everybody up. You know, she's pushing through that stuff herself, knowing that we got to get out and get things done in practice or in the games when things go bad, and she just brings that spark to us.
Let's talk about these 2 home games for you guys, 2 big wins at home. How much do you feel like your team is really kind of almost starting to hit its stride right now?
Well, I thought we played extremely well at home for our final 2 games, something we needed to do. You know, need to protect your home floor in this league. So the games were huge for us coming in. We got to keep pace with Montana State, and you know, we were able to do that this weekend.
Let's talk about Portland State first, a game that everyone was picking you guys to win, and you did win. Were you happy with how your team played?
I didn't like our start. I thought we were kind of sluggish at the start, careless with the basketball, not a lot of intensity. I think, you know, you beat a team by 30 at their place. When they come to your place, it's natural for that to happen. And I think once we got it in gear and got refocused, I thought we did a good job.
Yeah, it's honestly a little tougher. I mean, everyone knows that games this time of year are absolutely critical. But when you mentioned you did beat them by 30 in Portland, everyone else outside the locker room is chalking this up as a win. Is it a little tougher to get focused for that?
It is. You could tell. Definitely, especially with senior day coming up, you know, the next game on Saturday and a huge game with Sac State, who we know it's going to be rough. So I think it was tough to get focused. But again, I think our seniors really brought it and refocused everybody after a couple of timeouts and at halftime. What
did you like about the second half from your team?
I liked our defensive intensity. I thought we really got after them and got on the glass, spread the floor, really started running. You know, they were a little shorthanded, and I said we need to keep pushing the basketball down the floor, and I thought we did a great job of that.
24 assists for you guys. We've talked about it a lot, but why is it so important for your team to share the basketball?
Well, if we're getting over 20 assists, it means we're taking great shots and we're moving the basketball and people are being unselfish, and that's our trademark. And if we're getting over 20 assists, I feel pretty good about where we're at from an offensive standpoint in the basketball game. Again, it means we're sharing the basketball and people are taking great shots.
Now let's talk about that senior day game against Sacramento State. What a game. I mean, where do you start? The 38-13 first quarter, was that better than you envisioned?
Yeah, it really was. I mean, I think it was as close to a perfect quarter as we've had all year long. I mean, offensively, we were carving up their press. We were finishing at the rim. We had open threes. We were knocking those down. Defensively, we were smothering them out there at the three-point line. I mean, it was everything we wanted to do coming into the game with our game plan and executed really almost to perfection.
How much did senior day, do you think that had to do with it, just with the team fired up, obviously?
Well, the team was fired up, and I think they knew how the game was going to be with Sac State, you know, with that style, and they knew they were going to have to bring energy from the start or we'd be in a big hole. And loved the way we started energy-wise. And I think certainly senior day has a lot to do with it. When you got 5 seniors and the crowd there and everybody, a lot of emotion, and they channeled it in the right way.
What did it mean to you and to them to go out like that at the Cowan Spectrum? Obviously, you still have quite a bit left.
Yeah, I think it's great. You know, senior day, if you can have a senior day like that for the players, because they're always going to remember their game. You know, they're always going to remember it for the rest of their lives. They're going to remember what their senior day was. And to be able to remember this game for all those years they have to come, it's going to be great, because they'll always remember it with a smile on their face, as I will.
It seemed that Sac State, especially after that first quarter, did it seem like they just kind of started to force some threes up?
Well, that's their game. It's what they do. You know, I mean, they're gonna jack threes no matter what you're doing. So it was no surprise. It was good that we just kept contesting and then rebounding. I think that was a huge key in that third quarter when we kept them off the O boards.
You mentioned after the game that the practice guys you guys practice against really helped your team prepare for the speed of Sacramento State. How so?
Well, the guys we have are really fast. They're very fast and very athletic, and we really cranked up the pressure on our team with those guys. We told them, look, there's no holding back, play as hard as you can, go for steals, go through people, do whatever you got to do to go get the basketball, double team, trap. And, you know, I just had Taylor in the office saying, wow, it was so much easier in the game than it was against the guys, and that's the way it's supposed to be. Our guys did a great job of preparing us that week.
That's awesome. I got to ask you about that first quarter again and just the game against Sacramento State as a whole. When it's going on, what's it like for you sitting there on the bench? Is it kind of like, do you sit back and kind of take it in? Is it fun, or do you not really allow yourself to enjoy that until after the game, maybe when you're watching film or something?
Yeah, no, in the moment, you're just coaching. You know, every possession is critical against a team, especially like Sac State. So I'm worried about the press. I'm worried about are we getting out to their three-point shooters? You know, and it went by fast. It went by fast. But it is, for me, possession by possession. I'm not kicking back going, okay, this is great. You know, maybe by the middle of the fourth quarter, I felt pretty confident at that point that things were going our way.
Talking with women's basketball head coach Jon Newlee right now. Coach, Eastern Washington next. You guys are both 12-3, tied for second in the conference now. What do you expect from this game in Cheney?
It's going to be a tough physical basketball game. That's the way they play. Every game with them is a knockdown, drag-out, physical battle, and that's what I expect. It's what it was here, and I know that's the way it's going to be up there.
Does this game feel like a rivalry, and how bad does your team want to get one back from them after they stole one on your home court?
Well, you know, they're hopefully they're really feeling we have to. You know, we did give one away at home, and now we got to go get that thing back up there in Cheney. So it should be a war.
Last time against them, one thing you really were not happy about after the game was that you felt like your team lost on the 50-50 balls. How important is that going to be this time around?
Yeah, we're going to have a lot more intensity than we had the last time we played them. I thought we kind of sat back and let them dictate the tempo of the basketball game. We're going to have to get after loose balls. We're going to have to get after rebounds to beat these guys.
Well, Coach, looking forward to that game already. He's Vandals head coach Jon Newlee. Coach, always a pleasure, and thanks for your time.
All right, thanks, Tom.
That'll wrap it up for this week's edition of Inside the Vandals. Make sure to join us next time as we look back on the game against Eastern Washington. And as always, make sure to follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. See you next time.